If you're a wartime veteran over 65 collecting a VA pension right now, the VA may owe you hundreds of dollars more every single month, and nobody there is ever going to call your kitchen table and tell you to ask for it. Before I show you how, do one small thing for me. Subscribe and tap the little bell, because this channel exists for one reason: clear, honest guides that help you claim every dollar you're already owed. That's it. Now let me show you what I mean. Picture a man. I'll call him Raymond. He's 78, a Korea-era veteran, and he's been getting a small VA pension for years. His hands aren't steady anymore. They shake when he tries to open a pill bottle. So every single morning, his daughter drives over before work. She helps him out of the chair, she helps him bathe, she cooks him something. She sorts his pills into that little plastic organizer with the days of the week on it, because he can't manage the caps himself. And Raymond? Raymond thinks he's already getting everything the VA owes him. That check comes, it's not much, and he assumes that's the whole story. He is wrong. By hundreds of dollars a month. Here's the part that makes my blood run a little hot. There's no secret law hiding this from him. There's no surprise check that shows up in the mail once someone finally notices. The money is sitting there with his name on it, and nobody whose job it is to hold that money is ever going to call his kitchen table and tell him to reach out and take it. That's not how the system works. It pays the people who ask. Everyone else, it just quietly lets sit there. If your hands aren't as steady as they used to be, or somebody drives over every morning to help you get through the day, this video is aimed straight at you. So stay with me. Here's how this goes. This is one benefit. It has a name, and the single most valuable move you can make is one form you have to ask for by name, because the VA will not offer it to you. Stay to the end, and I'll give you the exact words to say on the phone, plus the ugly little scam that follows this exact benefit around like a shadow. Both of those are coming, and right now, before you go one sentence further, I already know what some of you are telling yourself. Half of you are thinking, that's only for the poor, and I'm too proud to take a handout. The other half are thinking the opposite. I own my home, I make too much, I'd never qualify. I'm going to say this plainly. Don't count yourself out at your own kitchen table. Not yet. Give me 2 minutes to show you why. Because the way the VA does the math on this one is not what you think, and it catches good people on both ends. My name is Walter Hayes. For 15 plus years, I've done one thing. Read the fine print of these government programs for ordinary families. The tiny footnotes. The forms nobody hands you. I'm not selling anything. I don't work for the government. I just read the rules, so you don't have to. Now let me clear something up, because this is exactly where folks get scared out of their own money. Or worse, talked out of it. The title of this promise says you're owed more than the VA says. So let me right-size that. Honestly, the way I'd want somebody to do for my own father, what is not true. There's no hidden law that suddenly bans the VA from paying you what you've earned. There's no automatic check that lands in your mailbox the day you turn a magic age. If somebody told you that, they oversold it. Here's what I ask true. There's a real on-the-books add-on. It's been sitting in the rulebook for a long time. It's called aid and attendance. And the VA does not volunteer it. It doesn't come find you. You have to ask for it by name, or it just stays on the table. So what is it? In plain English, aid and attendance is an increase on top of the VA's basic pension. Not a separate program you start from scratch, an add-on that rides on top of the pension you may already be getting. It's for wartime veterans 65 and older, or their surviving spouses, who need help with everyday living. And I mean the ordinary stuff that gets hard as the body ages. Bathing, dressing, eating, managing your medication, or being housebound, stuck at home, because getting around on your own just isn't safe anymore. Read that list again, and think about Raymond. Shaking hands. A daughter sorting his pills every morning. He checks nearly every box on it. He needs help bathing. He needs help managing his medication. On paper, he's the exact person this add-on was written for, and he's leaving it on the table. For years now. That's the whole ache of this thing. It isn't that Raymond doesn't qualify. It's that being the right person and actually getting the money are two completely separate things, and the space between them is where hundreds of dollars a month quietly disappear. How much? Exactly. Enough that when you hear the number, you're going to want me to say it twice. Enough to be a new furnace before the winter, enough to be months of groceries. I'll give you that real figure in just a minute, and I'll translate every dollar of it so it stops being an abstract number and starts being what it actually buys. But first, you have to understand why almost nobody gets it, because it's not the rules. The rules, honestly, are on your side more than you'd expect. The problem is the paperwork. So the benefit has a name, aid and attendance. But the reason almost nobody collects it isn't that they fail some test. It's a trap hidden inside the paperwork. One box that's buried where you'd never look. One medical form the VA never tells you to file. And a deadline nobody announces, so every month you don't ask is another month of higher payments gone for good. Let me show you that form, the one piece that turns you qualify into you actually get paid, and the exact numbers it unlocks. That buried box, that medical form the VA never tells you to file, it has a name and a number. VA Form 21 to 2680. The doctor's examination form. This is the piece that turns you qualify into you actually get paid. And being legally entitled and actually getting paid are two completely different things. So let me show you the trap in full, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Most days, aid and attendance is not a separate application. It rides on top of the pension you may already have. Same claim, same file, nobody hands you a new stack of forms. And that is exactly why it slips past people. The box that says you need help with daily living is buried deep in the paperwork, and no clerk is going to lean across the desk and say, "Sir, you should check this one." Then there's the proof. To pay you the higher amount, the VA wants medical evidence that you need help bathing, dressing, eating, managing your pills, or that you're housebound. That evidence lives on one document, VA Form 21 to 2680. Your doctor fills it out. And here's the quiet part. The VA never mails it to you. Nobody tells you to file it. So you sit there, already entitled, while the form nobody mailed you gathers dust, and every month it sits, that's another month of higher payments left on the table. Months, sometimes years. Money with your name on it, just waiting for a form. Now the numbers, and I'll translate every single one, because a naked number never helped anybody. Each year, the VA sets what's called the maximum annual pension rate with aid and attendance. That's the ceiling the most they'll pay a veteran who needs this help. It's adjusted annually, so confirm the current figures for yourself at va.gov. But here's the shape of it. For a single wartime veteran, the rate with aid and attendance runs well over $1,000 a month more than the base pension rate. Not a one-time bonus. Every month. Let me make that real. Say your add-on comes to $300 a month. That's a modest example. For many people, it's more. $300 a month is $3,600 a year. Think about what that is. A whole new furnace before winter. 3 solid months of groceries. Pulled quietly back into your check, month after month, instead of sitting on the table. Read that again. $3,600 a year with your name on it. Now, here's where two very different people both make the same mistake and both walk away from money that's theirs. On this one, tell me in your head right now, did you already count yourself out? Keep listening, because the math is not what you think. Group 1, you heard pension and you thought, that's charity, that's only for the poor, I've got a paid-off house, that's not me. So you tuned out. Here's the truth. Yes, this is a net worth and income test. But watch what the VA actually counts as your income. Your unreimbursed medical and caregiver costs get subtracted from your income before they do the math. Every dollar you pay out of pocket for care that nobody pays you back for, that comes off the top. So a homeowner with real care bills, someone who looks fine on paper, can absolutely qualify. Group 2. You heard the numbers and thought the opposite. I make too much, no chance. Same mistake, different direction. Because it's the same mechanism that saves you. Those care costs lower the income the VA counts. Your gross number might be over the line. Your countable number, after the care comes off, can drop right under it. The paperwork says rich. The reality says you're spending it all keeping yourself cared for. So whichever assumption you just made at your own kitchen table, hold on to it for a second, and let me show you a face. Picture a widow. I'll call her Eleanor. She's the surviving spouse of a World War II veteran, and she lives on $1,900 a month. That's her whole world, her Social Security, a small survivor's check, and that's it. Now, her body's holding up better than her balance sleeve, but she can't manage the house alone anymore, so she pays $1,400 a month for in-home help. Someone to bathe her, cook, keep her steady on the stairs. Look at Eleanor on paper. $1,900 a month coming in. To a stranger with a clipboard, she looks too rich to need help. And that's exactly what everyone told her, including the voice in her own head. But do the VA math. Subtract that $1,400 in caregiver costs from her income, and the number the VA actually counts collapses. Suddenly, Eleanor qualifies for the survivor's pension with aid and attendance, hundreds of dollars more a month. And here's the part that should make you sit up. She'd been leaving that on the table for 2 years. 2 years. Because nobody ran the subtraction for her, and she assumed the answer. If you're a surviving spouse and you just thought this isn't for you, that's exactly the assumption that cost people 2 years of payments. Eleanor didn't do anything wrong. She just didn't know the rules, count her care against her income, instead of ignoring it. Nobody drove over to her small table, sat down with her $1,900 bank statement and her $1,400 caregiver invoice, and did the honest arithmetic. So the money sat there, with her name on it. And that's the whole heartbreak of this benefit. It's not that people don't qualify, it's that they count themselves out before anyone shows them the math. So let's not do that to you. You've got the mechanism now. The add-on rides on top of the pension. The medical proof lives on Form 21 to 2,680, the form the VA never mails. Your care costs come off your income before they judge you. That's the machine. That's how someone who looks too poor and someone who looks too rich can both end up qualifying for the same check. So there's the number and there's the form. What's left is the part that actually turns it on. One free phone call, one form, asked for by name, and one exact sentence that starts your claim moving, the words you literally say out loud so the person on the other end knows precisely what you're after. But here's what I need you to know before we get there. The moment there's money like this on the table, someone comes circling. There's a thief who shadows this precise benefit, someone who will try to get to your VA money before you do, and who's counting on you not knowing the one rule that shuts him down. So let me hand you both. The sentence that starts your claim and the rule that stops the thief cold. Because knowing the number without knowing what to say next is just another form gathering dust, and I did not bring you this far to leave you sitting at the table. One free phone call, one form asked for by name, one exact sentence. Here it is, so you never have to guess. Call the VA at 1-800-827-1000, or better, call your county Veterans Service Officer. That help is completely free. Write that down. Your county Veterans Service Officer, the VSO. Every county has one, and their whole job is to sit at the table with you and file this claim the right way. They don't charge you a dime. They know exactly which box to check and which paper the VA quietly needs. And here is the paper. When you call, you ask for it by name. VA Form 21 to 2,680. The doctor's examination form. That's the one nobody mails you. The one that turns a basic pension into a pension with aid and attendance. You file it right alongside your pension claim, say the number out loud so it sticks. Form 21 to 2,680, now the sentence. This is the part that starts the whole thing moving. When someone at the VA or that VSO's office picks up, you say this, plain and slow. I'm a wartime veteran over 65. I need help with daily living, and I want to apply for aid and attendance. Say it out loud with me right now, so it's in your mouth when you pick up the phone. I'm a wartime veteran over 65. I need help with daily living, and I want to apply for aid and attendance. That one sentence starts it. Not the whole claim in an afternoon, but the door swings open. Everything after that is just filling in the truth of your life. And if you're the surviving spouse, you change 3 words. You say, I'm the surviving spouse of a wartime veteran, I need help with daily living, and I want to apply for aid and attendance. Same door, same free help. So let's add it up. Let's put a real number on what all of this is worth, because numbers on their own float away, and I want this one to land in your lap. Say the add-on comes in at $300 a month on top of the pension you already draw. For a lot of single veterans, it runs more than that, but take $300. That's not $300 once. That's $300 every single month, month after month, back into your checking account. Over a year, that's $3,600. A full new furnace before winter, 3 solid months of groceries, a year of your medicine co-pays. That's money with your name on it, pulled back out of the pile it was sitting in. Now, stretch it. 2 years of not knowing costs you over $7,000. Read that again. $7,000? Gone. Not to a mistake, not to a scam, but simply because nobody walked over and told you the form existed. That is the whole tragedy of this benefit in one figure. Remember Raymond? The Korea-era veteran, 78, hands shaking too hard to button his own shirt. His daughter driving over every single morning to help him bathe, to cook, to line up his pills on the counter. Raymond thought he was already getting everything the VA owed him. He was wrong by hundreds of dollars a month for years. And nobody whose job it is to hold that money ever called his kitchen table to tell him. One free form. Form 21 to 2,680. One free phone call to a VSO. That's all it would have taken to end his shortfall. He didn't know the option existed. Now you do. But before you pick up that phone, I have to warn you about the thief circling this exact benefit. Because the moment money like this gets talked about, the vultures show up. There are people who call themselves pension consultants. Pension poachers is the honest word for them. They will offer to file this claim for you, and they will charge you a fee, sometimes a big one, sometimes a cut of your back pay. Understand me, filing this claim is free. The VSO does it for nothing. Anyone charging you to file a free form is picking your pocket in a nice suit. And there's a second one, worse. Someone calls you out of the blue and says they need your bank account number to release your VA money, to speed up your aid in attendance, to verify your identity. Stop right there. The VA does not call your house out of the blue asking for your bank details. That is not how any of this works. If someone calls asking for your bank details to release your VA money, stop, hang up, say it back to me. I go to them, you go to the VA, you go to the VSO. They never come to you demanding numbers over the phone. Whoever does is a thief, not the government. Stop, hang up, you go to them. All right, let's turn all of this into 3 things you actually do this week. Not someday, this week. Grab a pen. 1. Call your county Veterans Service Officer. Just search your county name and Veterans Service Officer, or dial that VA line, 1-800-827-1000, and ask them to connect you. Free help on your side. 2. When you get someone, ask for VA Form 21 to 2,680 by name. Don't describe it, name it, the number does the work. 3. Sit at your kitchen table and total your monthly care and medical costs on paper. Every dollar you pay for in-home help, every copay, every prescription, the caregiver, the supplies, write them in a column and add them up. That number is what lowers the income the VA counts. That number is often what turns a no into a yes. So don't skip it, and don't count yourself out before you've done the math on paper. Now, a couple of honest words, because you deserve them. This is general education, not personal legal or tax advice. The rules and the dollar amounts vary and they change every year. So confirm your own case with your VSO before you count on a number. That's not me hedging. That's me making sure nobody at your table gets talked out of or into the wrong thing. And here's the one favor I'll ask. Do one thing for me. Send this to one veteran or one widow over 65 you love, because nobody official is going to call and explain it to them, and you might be the only one who ever tells them. Think of one right now. The uncle who served, the neighbor whose husband was in the war, the father whose hands shake now like Raymond's. Send it. You could put hundreds of dollars a month back in their check with one forward, because that's the whole thing the title promised you. And I want to say it plainly now. More than the VA says. This is it. There is no secret law and no automatic check, but there is a real on-the-books add-on called aid and attendance, sitting on top of the basic pension, worth hundreds a month, and it is yours to ask for by name. That's the more, it's real, it's claimable, and it has your name on it. The money's been on the table the whole time, the form nobody mails you is one phone call away, and the only person who can pick it up is you. Raymond didn't know the option existed. Now you do. So don't leave it on the table. I'm Walter Hayes. Make the call this week, share it with someone who needs it, and I'll see you at the next one.